Last year, over 51,000 Indian students left the UK. Many of them couldn't secure a job or visa sponsorship in time. But here's the thing, getting a sponsored job in the UK is difficult, but it's not impossible. Every week, I speak to students who are applying for hundreds of jobs, getting constant rejections, and starting to believe that sponsorship is no longer achievable. Today's guest proves otherwise. A year ago, Srimanth came on my channel and shared his journey of landing a data analyst role in the UK. At the time, he made me a promise. When I secure visa sponsorship, I will come back and share exactly how I did it. And today, he's back. In this episode, Srimanth reveals the exact strategy that helped him secure sponsorship, how many rejections he faced before succeeding, the mistakes that were costing him interviews, what Chrome extension saved his time, the role of CVs and cover letter, and what international students should focus on right now. So, if you're an international student, graduate, or job seeker trying to stay in the UK, this episode could save you months of frustration and help you avoid common mistakes. So, make sure you watch until the end. Without any further delay, let's welcome Srimanth. Hi Srimanth, welcome back once again to Your Knowledge Buddy. And if you don't mind, can you introduce yourself to my audience, please?
Hi Sarika, so thank you for inviting me and again over here. So I'm Srimanth. I'm currently working as a data analyst at Europe's largest biomedical research center called Francis Crick Institute, which is in central London. So getting back to my journey, so I came to UK in 2023 to do my master's. I graduated in 2024. It's a one-year course. Then I've given like 45 interviews to get 3 job offers. I joined Rico as my first job as a data analyst. It's a Japanese company. So I've been there like 8 months. Then again, I had to make a transition for a visa sponsored job. So which I'm working as a data analyst at the Crick. Okay. And this is all about me.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations, massive congratulations. And you kept your promise. In the last video, you said, I'll come back again when you get a visa sponsorship.
Yes.
So you are back on my channel.
Yes.
So let's talk about it from the point when you were into a job, not a visa sponsorship job, now in your visa sponsorship job. What was your strategy? What did you do that time? And which made you land a visa sponsor job?
Yes, so that's something which I happily wanted to share with everyone, because people think like, okay, it's easy to get a normal job but not a sponsored job. But of course, it's really difficult. So getting back to the journey, so once I had a job in the Rico, so the company had a sponsorship license and I was expecting, okay, if I perform really well, so I can convince them to sponsor. But sadly, that didn't happen as what I planned. So when I had a 1 year of my PSW left, I thought, okay, I need to make this leap now. If not, I will be staying in the same company. So then I looked after for all the different roles, which had a really good threshold and who can happily sponsor. So since then, from Jan to March of 2026, I have given 8 interviews for top companies, like that includes JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, few universities, everything. But sadly, they are not into sponsorship for these particular roles. Then finally, I had to increase my capacity more and apply different institutions which are happy to sponsor. So finally, I did make into university as a final round and also with the Crick. And Crick was able to sponsor me and I cleared the final round and I'm in there.
Amazing. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
So I've learned few things here. So one strategy, what you did was, first of all, you already found first job in a licensed sponsor company.
Yes.
So that is a good strategy. So for anyone looking for a job in the UK and looking for visa sponsorship later on, find a company who got a license. That is what you did.
Yes.
But you also changed your strategies. The moment you realize you have added value, you learned something, but still your company was not ready to sponsor you.
Yes.
Then you also realize it's a mistake if I continue here longer because you wanted a sponsorship.
Yes.
So you changed that. So the strategy change is also needed if your company is not willing to sponsor. And the reason you were able to transition, what you said, I really liked it. You were left with only 1 year of visa.
Yes.
So you know that you had only 1 year time
Timeline,
to transition, find out the new companies, and you went through major rejection as well.
Yes.
Okay, now talk to me about your rejections, because we don't talk openly about it. Even though the company's got a license, they don't sponsor, right? So what are the common reasons you heard recently?
If I'm taking the new journey as a consideration, the main things are like limitations. So majority, I've got like 3 years of experience in overall, 3 to 3.5 in between. So many companies are not open to sponsor the entry level roles because it's easier to find. Since we know there are many people in the UK who are looking for the entry level jobs. And some companies particularly told me that, okay, we will be sponsoring you, but only for the lead roles, not with the entry level roles. And salary threshold is something that mattered a lot. even though sometimes the companies are offering beyond 50K, they're not ready to sponsor because they have a limitation as per the company terms and policies. And one of the new reasons which I'm hearing is all about it's not about having the license, it's about how frequently they're sponsoring. Because for a company, they might be having a license, but it's not actively sponsoring. So you need to take that consideration, because I just initially took whether they had a license or not, but haven't seen whether they're actively sponsoring people or not. That is the first important thing everyone needs to realize.
Okay, so how do you know if a company is actively sponsoring? Because no website is going to tell you. You know from the government portal that these are the companies who got a license. So how did you find that?
So there are few extensions in the LinkedIn. So I think one of the job graduate holder made an extension. It's something a game changer, I would say. It is called as UK sponsorship checker. So which you can install in your LinkedIn. It will not only show whether the company had a license or not, but also it will be showing you how many visas they did sponsor recently and whether the role is eligible for the sponsorship or not. So this is what I have used for a majority of my jobs. So I never applied randomly. I used to be really selective. Company license plus, after knowing this mistake, plus whether they're actively sponsoring or not. And firstly, my role is eligible or not for the sponsorship. So in that way, I tracked it.
Correct. And do you know if this Chrome extension is paid or is it free to use?
It is free to use, but for certain credits, then you need to pay. I suggest it's really, really cheap for 3-month plan. So of course, it's not a promotion, but it was really, it helped me a lot. So there is a 3-month plan where you can get it for really less, and it's a game changer.
Okay, and you suggest people to use
Definitely.
it because it helped you.
Definitely, I would say.
Okay. Talk me about the time when you were interviewed but you were rejected, and then what kind of feedback did you get? Maybe you were not good at something or something else. Talk about more rejections.
So getting rejections, of course, we, like as a UK people, we should be taking a lot of rejections. We should be habituated for that, and same as with me. So if I take even my previous journey or the new journey, rejections are common. So some of them are just due to visa issues, some of them are due to some other limitations. But there are times where I get into the final rounds and they had to interview 2 to 3 people at least and make a decision out of it. So majority of the times, so initially I was good at technicals, like as Indians, we have a good fundamental knowledge and technical knowledge to speak about. But in the UK, it works a bit different. It's not about how good you are technically with, how it should be like how well you can communicate, how well you're good at competency, behavioral and everything. So not always technicality matters, but sometimes it's about how you talk, how you articulate things to the stakeholders or the interviewers or the recruiters. This matters a lot. So I used to talk a lot about technicalities and everything, but this is not they wanted. This is not they're expecting from the candidates. So that's where I used to get mostly rejected. Then I corrected my mistakes. My friend helped. I took mock interviews. I used to talk my answers to them. So that's where I reverted back all of my changes.
Okay. So you are talking about especially the STAR technique interview pattern that you use.
Yes.
So let's talk about it a little bit more. So for people who are watching from India, I know back in India, I never experienced the STAR technique. I learned myself. And you know, when you're talking, it reminds me of my days. I was technically very sound, but still I was getting rejected. I didn't know the reason about it. And then I learned through the HR when they gave me a feedback, you know, why don't you follow the STAR technique? That's where I learned about it. STAR stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, R is the result. Now remember, result can be positive or negative. They just want to know what did you learn from it. So how did you structure your answers?
So I used to gather all the competency-based questions which are available in the online through different company websites like Glassdoor and everything. Of course, we can use AI tools. Then I had to make my answers out of it. It's not like randomly I'm gonna tell STAR answers out of nowhere. So I need to prepare the framework before. So that there are few commonly asked questions. Since I've given a lot of interviews, I used to document each and every question what they asked me. This is what something a bit everyone should do. I used to write all the questions. I used to remember the answers which I've spoken. Then I used to recorrect them. So then I used to write the STAR method answer, like this is the situation, this is the task, action and the result. So next time if they ask me the same question, I will be telling the similar way. And correlating with each and every question. So I used to demonstrate all the answers and all the situations which I've been through, then put them in the live examples.
Exactly. Again, When I talk to you, I feel like, it was me 10, 15 years ago. I used to dump everything in an Excel sheet.
Yes.
And today that Excel sheet is my Bible, which I'm giving to people,
Yes.
Whenever you go for interview, whenever I used to go for interview, I used to just go through my Excel sheet because I have already done my brain dump. All the questions were asked. I have already drafted my answer in the STAR technique. So when you get this question during the interview, you don't have to start thinking from scratch.
Yes.
The question is already familiar. You just need to structure, think, pause, think, and then start answering in the STAR technique.
Yes,
and this is where I said, people, you got to train yourself. It's not something we were exposed to back in India. This is something new, so it won't come naturally.
Absolutely.
You have to take time to train yourself, and then only you can do better.
Yes.
So interview is a skill. If you don't have those interview skills, you won't be able to go through it. Right?
Making a CV is phase 1, and phase 2 is the cracking interview.
Exactly. Yeah. You talked about CV. Let's talk about CV. Not too many people are even reaching the stage 1 where the CV is being shortlisted.
Yes.
Okay, talk about what did you do with your CV? How did your CV started picking up in the search engine?
Making CV is something which every student should do after arriving into the UK since day 1. This is something which I strongly suggest everyone. Even though it's a part-time or full-time, you should have a proper CV. And if you consider taking full-time jobs, so most of the people keep irrelevant stuff in the CV. For an example, if I'm applying for a data analyst or something, I've seen few CVs keeping part-time experience like working in some other place, which is irrelevant because recruiters always wanted to see whether you're capable, whether you had a familiar experience, or whether you did a perfect course or something like that. Not something which doesn't make any relevancy. So always I avoided all the relevant information. I used to categorize my sections because in UK they value each and every diversified profile, not only with the work but also your extracurricular activities, your courses, your certifications, your achievements, everything. So I made my CV diverse, strong, and content oriented, and tailoring especially for the job. It's not like I maintain single CV for all the jobs. For each and every job I used to tailor the CV what they're exactly looking at. So this is the main tips which I suggest and which I did to get shortlisted.
Okay. Customizing each CV.
Yes.
And also taking out unnecessary information which is not needed because it's related to the job you're applying for.
Yes. Yeah.
I give people example in a very layman language. If you are a carpenter, painter, gardener, cook, driver, don't tell them, they're not interested. If you are applying for a job of a driver, then 80% of your CV should talk about that you're a driver.
Yes.
I invited a recruiter on my channel, say 1 year or 2 years back. She was from KPMG, if I'm not wrong. She said I don't know why she said Asian. Okay, she said whenever I look at Asian CV, in short, it was like a khichdi. You talk so much, you input so much. And she was like, I'm not asking about this or this or this. I'm hiring for say data analyst. Just tell me about data analyst, what you have done and how did you do it. So 80% of your CV should talk about it. The other unnecessary information, they don't want to know about it.
Of course, yeah.
So why to waste time? Because CV is just a 2-pager. If you don't have time to make that perfect 2-page CV, you won't even grab their attention.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Good. So we talked a lot. Interview preparation. We talked about CV. Tell me about the job sites you used to find job.
Okay. So this might seem to be funny, but majority of my interviews, I would say 70% of my interviews are LinkedIn. Many people said, and I have read many posts telling that LinkedIn was dead, LinkedIn died and everything, but I never believed them. So I came here and break all the paths. It's like if you take, they said more than 1-page CV doesn't work. I never had a 1-page CV, 2-page.
Yeah, it should be 2-page. I don't know who is saying 1 page.
Yeah, they used to tell at the earliest time there was like only 1-page CV, don't go beyond 1. So I break it. And they said, Indians are not getting jobs, you're not having jobs. I broke it and I got like more than 5 offers. And again, getting with the jobs, they said LinkedIn doesn't work. Of course, majority of my interviews are LinkedIn. But apart from the LinkedIn, I can suggest a lot of job sites which are a bit diversified. So we have Indeed, we have Reed, R-E-E-D, Reed. You have CV Library. Then you have Jobs UK. Then if you are specifically looking for entry-level jobs or startup jobs, there is a site called Welcome to the Jungle, which very few people knew. So Welcome to the Jungle is specifically focused on the startup companies where it starts from 50 employees to 5,000 employees. So if you are looking for a diversified and a different world, you can try for that. And I think these are most of the sites, and we have Student Circus as well. So, which is something founded by the known
one
community.
One of the ex-international students, right?
International student that helps as well. And we have Bright Network for internships. So, there is a lot.
Okay, I want to touch upon LinkedIn.
Okay.
Okay. So you searched for job through LinkedIn, but
Yes.
did you also apply through LinkedIn, or did you go to the company's website and apply?
No, I did apply through LinkedIn as well. So
You applied through LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Earlier, I used to follow this. Like I used to search the job, and then I used to go privately to their website and apply. But at the end, the product should be reaching the company. It might be from different marketplace or different channel, but it reaches at the end in the same way. So whatever means you apply, so at the end it will be reaching the company site. And if your profile is strong, and if you are a top applicant, no one can stop you, whether you apply directly or indirectly. So this is what I personally felt. And as said earlier, so even with JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, I never applied in their direct website. So I've been through all LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. And you got calls?
Yeah, I got
interview
calls from
through
them.
there.
Yes.
Okay. When did you apply? Within like when the job was posted, 24 hours, 48 hours, or 1 week? What was your strategy for the time?
So yeah, I have a decent answer for that. I used to look at the applications. So I never apply for a job which has more than 100 applications. This is my personal feeling, because when you are a more than 100, when it costs more than 100, there are a lot of people with a lot of competition or more qualified to crush you up in that interview or something. This is what I initially felt. So I used to keep a target. If the job has more than 80 applications, I won't apply. If it is less than 80, I'll try to make myself as a top candidate. This is what I used to do. But I always aim to be as a top applicant. Even if I apply in the first 10, that count might go to 100 later. I don't care. So I just need to be top applicant, and mostly, of course, the 24 hours one, because if you apply within 24 hours, it will be having, of course, less applications. And in that, if you can be a top applicant, that is something like a golden chance.
Yeah. So I say people, there's a golden window.
Yes.
Try within 48 hours
Yes.
if you want to grab attention
True.
of hiring managers.
Yeah.
Because I always give my example. When I hire people, I receive so many applications, and they may be really good candidate at number 150 plus
Yes.
or 300 people. So as a hiring manager, I want to recruit someone very soon,
Yes.
so that my burden is less. Otherwise,
course,
I need to continue working longer. So I generally have managed to find my perfect candidate within the first 2-3 days maximum.
Yeah.
And after that, I have to send auto rejection email,
Of course.
because there's so many people applying for it. And then, like you said, the top candidate, the
Yes.
top applicant, they stood out.
Yes.
How did you make sure that you are the top applicant?
So I used to tailor jobs specifically, like the CV and everything, for the job title, skills, what they had, and what are they expecting from a candidate, like even the projects, and maintaining the relevancy is something top notch, which I used to do. For an example, if I am applying for a supply chain job or supply chain company, so since from my summary till my education, I used to make relevancy out of it. Because back in India, I used to have 2 years of experience in IT, where I used to serve a supply chain client. So I was highlighting them. So I worked for a supply chain client, and I knew supply chain modules through my education. I did certifications and free courses in the supply chain domain. On top of it, I worked or I made few supply chain projects, which was through my university, which I had a module and also a project. So if you maintain this kind of relevancy for any job, if they see your CV, they're going to look like it's a supply chain world for them, and they exactly expect the same. When they are hiring, they are not just taking a person, they're taking your whole profile, starting from your master's with your experience, whatever it is. So this is the relevancy I used to make with all the domains. So that's why in my free time, I used to make a lot of different projects from different genres, so that I can relate each and everything with the job. And tailoring, of course, it should be top notch. What are they asking? No unnecessary information, keeping all relevant stuff, and of course matching each and every skill. This is what I used to do.
Oh, amazing. And did you also use a cover letter anytime to apply?
Yes, cover letter is most important thing.
Yes, because again, back in India, I never knew what is cover letter. I've never used it. So talk about it.
Yeah, so cover letter is something which you additionally attach apart from your CV, but it should not have the content in your CV. I see a lot of people writing cover letter like it's a perplexed version of a CV. You already have a CV to read. So why do you write the same content again and again? So in cover letter, I used to focus on why I am eligible, why I wanted to work for your company, what about me, why am I excited for the role, how will be I a good fit. It's not about I have this degree, I have this and everything. Correct. So I used to write my motivation behind applying, how I can make relevancy. And also I used to write the future plans. Okay, if in case, if I get the job, this is what I'm planning to do for your company, showing your future aspects,
This is good.
your interest, and the motivation why you wanted to work for the company. Because you need to convince the recruiter without being in person over there to get shortlisted for the interview. So you need to do the research about the company. You should tell them, this is what I did the research, this is what I'm interested in the role, and this is what I want to do after getting selected. So they see a broader aspect from there, and that will make them convince, okay, this person is really interested in the role and we should give him a chance.
This is clever. While you were talking, I'm thinking now, if I receive a cover letter which states, if I get hired, this is what I will do.
Yeah.
I will definitely be attracted.
Of course,
like,
yes.
oh my God, yes. We didn't think of it. Somebody's already started thinking about the future.
Yes.
That is really good strategy. I think everybody should adopt it.
Yes, definitely.
So no doubt you have got so many success stories to share with us. Well done you. You are a clever boy.
Thank you.
So now we talked about so many things today already.
Yes.
We talked about LinkedIn, CV. We talked about interview. We talked about all the mistakes people are making. Anything you want to say to my audience? We know the job market is tough. Your people are struggling. Any piece of advice that you want to share with my audience?
So of course I always wanted to be positive and share that, okay, there are plenty of jobs in the UK still. I would say still again, I will share definitely a daily list of at least 10 to 15 jobs to my friends to make them apply, or somewhere part-time jobs. So there are plenty of jobs available in different domains. So since I am into analytics, I can see a lot of analytical jobs. So all I need is, people to make a good CV, apply as early as possible. Don't wait till your PSW or something. I can apply later. Since your day one, start applying. Try to grab a part-time job in your field. If not, try to get something relevant to your field. Then utilize that UK experience, especially because people value, of course, your Indian experience as well. But try to make something in the UK so that you will be valued with the UK experience. Do some projects, certifications. Don't stay till the last minute. Start applying. And firstly, don't directly aim for a sponsored job. Try to get job, get some experience, then automatically sponsorship will try to find you out.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work, like you said, you change your strategy. You're already working with a sponsored employer.
Yes.
So you realize that they're not going to sponsor you.
Yes.
You do not
Then
wait for your PSW to end and then you change your strategy.
You should act immediately and responsive since from the day one.
Yeah. One biggest mistake that you have seen students are making today?
So they are not having a clarity about the role, what they wanted to do. And they always follow other people. Whatever they say, they think that's a reality. If someone said there are no jobs, and they'll think like there are no jobs. When someone said apply for the role, they blindly go for the role. They don't even research. Even if the university considerations as well, when consultancy says go for it, they directly go for it. They don't research anywhere, just the basic things as well. So I wanted them to make aware. Like if someone said do this, why? Why should I do that? So get some awareness, do that, then you can automatically, your path gets laid up in there.
Yeah.
So this is
they need the job, but they don't want to do the hard work, right? Yeah, okay. I also realized, when people reach out and say, can you give me job? Can you give me job? If I join your career coaching. Career coaching is not giving a job. We are putting a planned strategy for you, what you should be doing, where you're going wrong. I am not giving job, but nobody is giving job. And I know you also do mentoring and coaching people as well, based on your expertise. And of course, I can see people will get benefited from your coaching as well. I'm going to provide all your links in the description and comment. Anybody who wants to reach out to him, feel free to do that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to say thank you very much and all the best to you. And you have done commendable job here. If I look at your story from job to visa sponsorship job, and with so many big companies approaching you for sponsorship, that was also good. And I learned something about your cover letter that is sticking with me. I'm going to use it now. Okay?
Definitely, yeah. So thank you, Sarika. Thanks a lot. And it's nice to meet you again. And hopefully we do a lot in the future. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you.